I'm going to read one poem tonight from the autumn. It's a serial poem called Firewall, a title I realised I unconsciously nipped from Tom Rayworth. It's got two epigraphs. The first is from Act 5 of A Midsummer Night's Dream, and it is, "This lone, this rough cast, and this stoned off show, that I am that same wall, the truth is so. And this the cranny is, right and sinister, through which the fearful lovers are to whisper." And the second one's from the American poet Rod Smith, and it is, "Stupid one, your wall is all of this." Firewall. Skyscraper, where now? I'm sidetracked, slated for release, a running contradiction. Search engine shoots you a fucking pricey answer in the suit of noise. A rhythmical ascendant, the rotted nomenclature. Tough. We've got to vaporize the borders, an avenue, a venue, a signal, Higgs boson in light. Planetary crashes, a new power up. I need to find some kind of job, remain a wide receiver, boson, off you pop. Unsent, the Pentagon then hashes vice-like, does a number on me, on this side. A lifelong song is tuning sapphire, standing tall. A direct message. Give off the latest lesson, pack the exit pantheon with everything you feel to be immovably true, knowing this is certain, it's only a matter of time. And sure, I appreciate we got a couple of things wrong, but I love you all the same, and I duly boost my hydrated friends among the witch hazels and mirrors. Winter. Sky blackens to the east and west. The banker surrenders. You become a machinist. Away ahead I see some stupid tower. Quantum excitation, verdant and ocular. I consult a scented memo, left for no one to find. In a flask of the inflationary epoch, remove my coat of data. Optimism's life expectancy. Optimism brains a plainclothes officer, all staying put inside a sigh, unbridled world of luminosity. And, disenfranchised, I go large, or not. A positive charge, wear this one for Santiago, savoir-faire, gargle the moderator. I'm not sitting on ceremony, Reaper abolishes a sum of summer grass. I hit rock bottom for a century there, you drag and drop me softly, add me back to cart. Let's get together, Monday say, and blow up the self-checkout. Sweet, Kevin Davies tutors me to cheat. You haven't worn a watch since sixth form, makes you tick. Since 1988, just 100 companies are responsible for 71% of global carbon emissions. Makes you think. The general firmament looks a little like a plug hole. The general consensus looks a little like a plug hole. T-shirt weather all year round. Push yourself together. Severance package shaking my head. Brain freeze. Before you know it, the afternoon bends in my refracting clink. But that doesn't really matter, lovely. Pass me a tumbler of drinking water. A billion poems for the Poetry Foundation, and not a single one of brilliance or use. It's a crisp October hour in my landlord's flat. I just had tea, and I'm thinking maybe it's finally time to give it all up. Feels like the people who would stop us writing are everywhere right now. The wasps are pleasing above the gondola, but the ringing in my ears has made your earring nosedive from my grip. You proofread 14 documents, and Trump Tower susses out the meaning of collapsible. This is an email of open intent. This is a means to a pop-up gale. This is a mini break, but it's also apparent the so-called elite keep on. Group learning, self-defense against failure. I realise my current account has undoubtedly been and undoubtedly gone. It's the worst. Sewn up, chips and cheese beside the community centre. Tip your phone off the suspension bridge. A breeze. I lied. The angelic airport, it's fuming comedy. A sim looks like a wall. Once upon a time, the extravaganza after the extravaganza cut my flourish. Brainwave. There is no shipping fee. There is only possibility. I follow you. I faceplant on the travelator. It is not the task of disappearance to preserve art. Restart. On Wednesday lunchtime, you will feel abruptly like your settled heart is buffering. Hypochondriacs step up all casual to the plate. Spill. Sell you later The plugins at my feet vibrate with simple anti-communication. The feedback loop's insuperable. How's Hubble, I wonder, quietly aloud, finishing my cereal? A poet is a pylon, end of my track, swims into your field of vision. Nice one, broke and veritably abridged. Commit to dust, the skirting board in the Schengen area, tousling a suite of options. Flex. Is this the fourth? Is this the North Pacific Gyre? So I set a reminder. At the hectic check-in, you were lost again to view. That settles it. Half a rainbow jousts into the corner of my prickly eye, and this is a sure sign. McDonald's strike, a heady mix, but after all, with clumps of deep, unsweetened history collaborating at my front, we wriggle free. It's not the end of the world, friend. Living in the fucking moment. Sorry, that's the point. Click donate. You do you? Red lorry, yellow lorry, red lorry, yellow lorry. Retire the soundbite, and a literary sea cucumber gives you detention. Fair play. Thought for food, capitalising on an innovative crisis. The supermassive front accepts himself. You tear and share, and end to trying. I fear myself, no geysers. Everything I've ever written brought me here. Everything I've ever bought, far buildings in my eyes, a wishful inhalation, no more lying. I just untied my tie and raising brightness, jogged your memory and away from the nearest exit. You feel great, you've had your multivitamin this morning. To note so isn't basically naive. A rash of Crossrail workers refuse to sail me down the beck, text their preferences. Big love. My mum is a unionised OT at Blackpool Victoria and she's a communist. My dad has always hated the accounts of shameful pricks and he's a communist. If you laughed just now, turn over. None of our lives will be wasted. That's it, that's the line. Language is all before you, so what's the matter? You're flagging. Each one of us can improvise and this is errancy. Sovereign water, wait there for a moment. Unemployed ASAP, be frank with me, be urgent. Deleting a currency. The Wi-Fi writes itself. I lose some change. A sentence busts. It's heavy. Form reveals to the extent that it is arbitrary. Trust me. Night shift can cost me, worth it. Typing into public taste and out again, an uncertain proviso garnishes the tottered hats of the megacity dumb fuck. A pinker shade of self-absorption. Goodbye and good luck. Burst my balloon. You see, you spent our teenage years gossiping to flying pavements. Songs bit your fingernails. This much is verifiable. Newly tired of the silage. Don't shut up, don't jump. I killed myself, you hit undo, a fluke in the dark, a job applicant. Your song is nowhere near enough. That'll do, I'm telling you. Misplaced by messages. But I suppose at least it cheered me up for a couple of nights. At least it saved my changes, saved my life. Commitment shouldn't drain our battery, but levity comes blinking with a cost. We all have to start making art for the 20s now. So I say good morrow. Underachiever. The people you were looking for are right in front of us. There is nowhere else to go. Keep it in the spinning ground. Desire is life. It's weird. Desire is life and my screen's not fucking frozen. You taught me that we can't just muck about all weekdays zip-locked around our grievances. Our estrangement from each other is what they want us to believe. Therefore, from the bottom of my feet, this one's for Willem van Spronsen, barbaric wall of forms and documents. If they build it, you'll just tear it the fuck down. Losing my shit. But we never put much stock in property. Who cares? I'm hyper. Of course this isn't for prosperity. Of course this is for posterity, it's for the present. Man, though at this rate, according to my calculations, the present has no plans on stopping. Open your palm. I won't let you come to any harm. At best, we both know how stunning the world will be. Don't pull the rug. Everyone listens to poetry in their earphones, see, and doing the right thing is usually messy. That's okay. Come on, give me a hug. Sugar rush. Let's turn my surfacing attention deficit to decent use. A class act, shiftless, hover, under the administration, ready, getting your shit together. nibble a corridor, jump the fuck up. Without contradiction, no regression. At least I'm honest I've not done my homework, and song is always simple. Stress returned us to the assembly hall. Visit this flat often, the pangs have gone, I'm game. That's C. Buckthorn on my painter's jacket. A side note, still uncooked, and frequently I worry I'm only looking for a cubicle to update my story in peace. Circling the slacking earth, the professionalisation of poetry, I cheer up a needless binary from the White House to the White Review. What I want's an unshrugged shoulder, it has to be seen. Clue, this is rank, just say what you think, stop bothering with these magazines. A flanking manoeuvre suspends judgment for a minute before it nips into this melody of traps. Rush, tech wave, lap me, pave no way. All this is contingency, rolling with the tongs, saying everything in debt with a refrigerated smirk, refresh. Hand the chances to the strikers, psyching yourself up, my move. Snow ruin the pickets well kept, seeking to run out, seeking to run on, never repeating the missteps. Today I beat my face brick, tomorrow I scooch up a suburb of defence mechanisms, dreamed in glass, abort, please scan an item. So I spent all week bloody worrying, didn't write a thing and that was that. Whole central meanings pass you by, a flyover, your posture's off. Who says? Duck subtly down, retorting, I am still a faker, now and forever, drat, how to shatter the police cloud, shortfall. Wholly I was struggling to scream, my adult life has been a fish tank, the tail end of a work song to strafe the actual climate. Of unplayable age oblique lay down the lawn, drink soften a bunch of powder, something but the coping of a bridge, let's sort it out, I won't abandon you, I won't abandon this, cancel my subscription in the operating rain. Join a disparity, is it music to arrears, called in the lull, don't miss, no news. Poetry is the opposite of policing. This is supposed to give you some inspo. Stop taking your time. You're tied up at the galleries for shitty pay. I love you. Throw open the closed circuit, double take. Off the top of my head, leaning wistfully against the magic money tree, I shoot someone a pointed look. Resurfacing to boot. All you moralists tread on my toes. Have some imagination for pity's sake. It's true I've led a sedentary lifestyle, my rhyme wheezes, poetry is the obliteration of policing. I get out of a private road, continuing to trail my hardly timeless feet. We like songs that have a palpable design on us, dear friend, number crunch, all valorizations, it's rough. A tune is a seam held out against the end, work for work's sake. I'm being childish again. It's what we cared about and loved and thought before they fucking stole it out of us. A quick intake then. Ground up, all set, no shame to speak of. Every song is a seam against death. I've been trying to put to you some things which, arriving at this streaming point my life affirms, are true. Wind in the last of the sunflowers, sick on the night bus, sky in heliotrope, scope it out. Moving through the damage hurts so fucking much, but staying put might be a redoubt. It bears repeating, holding on to each other, nothing to outsmart. Swing up and away from a president, a candidate, a prime minister, I reckon it's done. Blowout of hatred. Just keep in touch. Illegible to the end, I begin to clamber nimbly from the till. Hard luck. Brunch with a civilian, jostling each other, vicarious in the lobby of Clarity Limited. If it is true we must cut our throats, we'll let them get away with it. Opinion century, cirrus, press, and work is death. There, I said it. A poet has to fucking eat. The architects of universal credit. It holds, floats, spokes. Tonight it's not a question of what you want this to do or be. Flip the syllabus, needy. Thousands of kilometres likening away. A last syllable, the lawn of power. Jump out of my skin, audible nil, fill Silicon Valley in viciousness, clinical, gleam and peers, it holds. Delirious plus, you bite my tongue. Still going handsome, what about this wrench? No antisocial cliches. State the fact obvious, safe play, flinging the disobedient against the flawless screen, sync up. Today you back terrestrial redemption. No payoff from this propensity. Your tinnitus is worsening. Precarity won't shiver you the settings of a skyscraper. Seawater, broadcast through the trees. Refusal's proper scantiness, fuck liberal guilt, this is the ICI. I'll let my guard down for a period there, waking newts, windpipes slashed with heavy songs, a pointless wage wired over, pass me your empties. What's the catch? What's my limit? What's in it? You cannot love the state, a future, none, fire over the long plateau. I get you. Do one. I don't watch the weather except never. Go on, pick a door, the rich die happy, fuck my life. Dear art, how like you I have found myself. The stuff you said one evening in Leith Depot broke my tipsy heart. That's what we're about. And every line I type from now must keep in play the capacity to rip out a sneer from the enemy. Shush, a scare story clamps down. Living in the real world, better to stay linked into a shuddering daydream than piss it all away. Stick a fucking screwdriver in the last bubble of my humanity. Too true. A revolutionary song has nothing to do with being dignified, whatever the cost. But it does, nevertheless, have quite a bit to do with dignity. I yelp to myself mid-trip. Do you copy? Getting song slick is usually messy. I have found your voice. None of our lives will be wasted. Thank you.